So going into game number 2, we need some adjustments from Tempest. Wolf, what do you want to see from them?
I mean, like I said before, I think it was going to be a 2-0 series either way. But let's not spoil the ending. Okay, let's see where they end up taking us. We are going to go to Tomb of the Spider Queen. So I just want to see safer play and more respect towards these North American drafts. I think Tempest has this attitude of, I'm the better team fight team. I'm just mechanically better than you, so it doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm going to pick the heroes I want, and I'm going to play them. Like, that's how I feel they've been playing in this group stage. And against the weaker teams in Group B, it went totally fine. Yep. But against the teams that actually pushed them to the limit, Dignitas and now HeroesHearth, it is not going fine. It's going horribly, and there's no time to adapt in a 2-game series like this. You don't have time to be like, well, I'm going to change my entire play style, but playing safer is, I think, the best way to handle when North America's running these dive-oriented compositions.
One thing we actually didn't touch on is we did have some adjustments from Tempest in terms of the role swaps. We actually had lockdown on Raynor in that last game. Is that one of the ways they're trying to achieve this change they need?
It seems likely in that they rely on that flexibility, but, you know, one thing that Wolf mentioned is, you know, the drafts of North America. I feel Tempest, I don't want to say they're one-dimensional, right? Because they have so much flexibility with 3 ex-melee assassin players now switching roles in those assassin roles. And so they have a lot of strength, a lot of individual mechanics and skill. But for HeroesHearth, they will run an Abathur composition on this map. But they also have a plethora of other comps that they can run at any given time. This match matters. If HeroesHearth wins this, they move into the #2 seed. If they lose, they go into a tiebreaker with this very same team.
Yeah, so for best of 3.
Yeah, so for HeroesHearth, I don't think they need to show, or I don't think they need to hide anything, because I think that's very important looking at you're going against one of the other Korean teams if you drop down to #3 potentially.
Well, Tempest is going to take the Genji early here, and this gives you a lot of power in terms of just the map itself. It's a small map. There's very little distance between lanes. Genji is going to be omnipresent on the map. He's going to be able to harass your camps. He's going to be able to delay your turn-ins. He's going to be able to threaten the off lane because it's very nearby. But because it's picked so early in draft here, HeroesHearth has a lot of time to respond, and they very intentionally allowed this to go through, because in Korea on this map, Maiev has always been historically a much bigger threat.
Well, the target end, Blaze, there is something to be said for Blaze potentially being a main tank. And I know that's still foreign territory, but we saw Blaze get the health buff towards the end, and that is live on this patch. So he's one of the tankier, I think, top 5 health pools in the game right now. We did see a couple of games of it towards the playoff stages of North America, so it's not a foreign concept to North American teams. So that's not a definitive role just yet. As the Anubrak Yrel, something Korea loves. Anubrak, squishy, Yrel still providing that armor with the level 4 talent pickup. So a Korean special with that dive there.
Tempest doubling down on the idea of jumping on someone. There's someone we saw in the Eastern Clash very often, and one that has been played pretty often in the online play. So we'll see if this pulls off for them, but you need some wave clear for this battleground if you don't get those kills.
Yeah, you certainly do, and I'm wondering now what that is going to become. Deckard Cain would have been a great support here to help push this idea of chained CC, as well as forcing fights in lane, because Deckard is so... he's such a threat, because you always know as you're shoving a lane and you're looking for those fights that he could hit you with that scroll of sling and you're just locked down, you're just done. Crowan's made a lot of positional mistakes in this group stage, for example. If he steps over the line like he did even just on the previous map, they will find him, they will kill him. So I like this Deckard Cain ban a lot because it makes you feel a little bit freer on the map.
I would love, so you become a liability if you are a stationary target. Jaina would have been one of those for the wave clear. I would love to see maybe a task tracer for this. If you want to go into a Crowan hero that, I mean, Anubrak, I mean, you're not going to hit a tracer as an Anubrak. A Yrel, same thing, slow mechanics. Genji, you have that battle, that back and forth between a Genji tracer, and if you couple that with the Tassadar, I think that's something that HeroesHearth could potentially run, but as I mentioned, they could easily go into a Johanna, somebody that has that safety, and just play around that. They do, and this is a classic draft for HeroesHearth. The old Hanzo with the explosive arrow, Johanna with the wave clear. This is what they've done. This was their bread and butter for a very long time.
3-4 weeks.
We've seen this in Korea from not the teams that are actually representing the region in this tournament, but from some of the weaker teams and some of the teams that end up fighting in Crucible. It's a very common strategy to have that explosive arrow, control the wave clear, and then line up stuns. Valfurion coming in here as the support is very interesting, actually. It unlocks a lot of potential for those roots to help these team fights explode, and it feels like the draft is kind of flip-flopped for what it does from last game to this game. This game is the one where Tempest is going to be the aggressive one, the diving one.
There we go.
And there's Kerrigan.
When Max is making a face like that in the draft and he's getting pumped up, this is a Kerrigan here. Mac loves his Kerrigan back in the day, and she's back in the meta. I guess that's one way to kind of dance around your opponents and welcome them into your territory. Malfurion and Phoenix are both very susceptible to counter initiation.
Yeah, big hitboxes too.
Yeah, so it is kind of scary. I like this setup here for Heroes Heart.
I don't like it. I think that Tyranda's not going to be enough to help empower Kerrigan in these fights. I think Malfurion's going to go Twilight Dream, and I think it's going to be very difficult to get into that backline here. And if that combo fails, the counter engage potential is insanely good with this draft. The bunkers are really the key here. I think if the bunkers are used early, if they're forced early, bunkers on cooldown in a team fight, I think this comp that HeroesHearth is running is going to have a really bad time.
But Malfurion lacks pretty much any
He doesn't have ice block anymore.
No ice block, no burst healing, and it's all about getting those initial kills. Fury was nerfed, but you still stack up that level 4, the kinetic fulmination. It's a long one to say, but either way, bonus damage on your impaling blades, and you get that combo. She's not healing through that. You throw a bunker down, you have any type of CC between the Blaze Johanna. The Blaze Johanna is the best like combo that you have. It's like, all right, I can hit one, you can hit the other, you hit one, I hit the other. It's a very good synergy. You have that bunker. It's a matter of landing the combo, dropping bunker, and everybody hopping in and getting those jet streams out, and then that's a one-shot kill. That's how that combo will work.
And the Condemn is going to make that a lot easier, obviously, with how Kerrigan's combos work. So Johanna does work well with her there. I just wonder, can Kerrigan live long enough to get into position to actually make that combo happen? Because it's very telegraphed, right? I mean, Kerrigan's been a hero that's seen competitive play for a long time. Dami, one of the, historically the best Kerrigans at international events, is on the other side here. So Tempest knows how to deal with this, and I'm personally just not sold on it. But we'll see how it works out.
We'll see how it goes. I think I'm pretty sold on it. That Blaze is such a good backup plan when you're running at Kerrigan, but we'll see how it pays off here for 2 minutes Spider Queen. HGC needs this win if they don't want to go against a tiebreaker against Tempest. Let's go ahead and go to game number 2 as we head to 2 minutes Spider Queen.
2 minutes Spider Queen it is, and a very familiar looking draft, mostly for HeroesHearth, with the classic combo of Johanna, Blaze, Hanzo, which is one that you were a big fan of back at MSV.
Yeah.
But adding the Kerrigan into it adds a whole nother level of follow-up.
Yeah, it pretty much is just when one of those hits, if all the rest of them are anywhere near, you don't control your hero for a very long time. And beyond that, it's more than just one hero. It's all of the heroes. Every single one of those crowd controls is AoE and synergizes with each other. You know, I think our panel brought up a good kind of counter argument, though, against this. I think a lot of this is the Twilight Dream versus the Kerrigan. Who gets the kill before the other one makes that kind of, you know, what they want to make happen here in these skirmishes unfold here. We'll find out, though. In the blue, it is going to be HeroesHearth Esports, where we have Crowan on that Hanzo, BBJ on the Tyrande, McIntyre on that Kerrigan, Ishbu playing the Johanna, and Homicidal on Blaze.
And on the right-hand side, looking to gain a point and take it to basically a best of 3, it is Tempest, with Good going to be playing on that Phoenix. We have lockdown on the Genji, Dami on the Yorel, Sign on a Nubarak, and Hyde is playing the Malfurion. And looking at the level 1 talents already, we are seeing the Caldori Resistance and the Neural Stim Pack coming in for the Blaze.
Yeah, interesting choice to be able to see that rather than the new habits in the situation. But at the same time, outside of the roots and things alike, you know, the question is, I feel like actually bringing this back even to the Twilight Dream situation, if we see that unfold, I actually wonder, is the new habits going to be a problem in that situation? Because you can use your passive, get the Unstoppable, and once you get that, you have the opportunity to still drop the bunker, though everybody else is dead. Yes, a silence stops me from using my spells, but it doesn't stop me from hopping into a bunker.
Exactly, and if he's the Unstoppable one, but in this case, it's not happening. Very interesting to see. See how it works out for him at the moment, as Ishbu just trying to slow down the rotations of Tempest and very nearly punishes Sign. The Hyde with a solid root prevents Crowan from diving in and finishing off the kill.
And we already see HeroesHearth with their kill potential opportunities with the 4-man. You know, this composition does have a forgiving wave clear. Normally when you look at their comp, you go, how do they make up for that wave clear? Kerrigan's pretty good at it a little bit, but Hanzo needs to hit the 4 mark. Once he hits the 4 mark, this 4-man is going to be a lot more threatening because they'll have the minions going into their side. So Tempest is doing a good job understanding that pre-4, they actually are the bullies here in the northern lane. But post-4, expect a different tale.
And remember everyone, oh, hang on, pull in, stun land, beautiful Lunar Flare, and good is no longer in existence. They try to finish off Crowan for the counter kill, but the natural agility is getting him away. But what I was saying here is how important this game, and this game decides seed number 2 as they dive for Lockdown, who is able to escape. If Tempest take this game, they will have to have a tiebreaker. If HeroesHearth take it, they are seed number 2 in the group.
A statement that I can't help but feel like, 6 months ago, a lot of people would be like, no way is North America going to find themselves in that position. And even being able to compete against the second seed of Korea like they are here against Tempest. It's been a wild journey on the back end of North America, but it does feel like HeroesHearth has been able to find themselves as a unit with that new member of Homicidal post Arthlon stepping down from this roster. But they got to keep it up. Level 4 is acquired. That's where the explosive arrows comes online there for Crowan. And this is why I was at the moment where I was saying I expect HeroesHearth to get a lot more combo opportunities.
Yeah. A lot of extra AoE damage, great wave clear. And this is going to be fantastic for them. The walls are pretty far apart in this map, which is why we aren't seeing the extra damage on the scatter arrow, even though there is a boss on this map and it can gain extra value. But minions are just even more important here due to getting the gems. As level 4 is hit for Tempest as well. You are seeing the Subterranean Shield coming in for a Nubarak, giving him the extra protection here. And a dive in onto Crowan, but natural agility.
Got the natural agility. Kerrigan actually not hitting her stun either, so on a retreat there. Lockdown, able to poke and prod for a moment. BBJ unable to make it out with a hammer knockback into the Impale. Gets a heal into one, but Lockdown finds himself a Swift Strike reset. Ishbu did end up getting the retreat there, but great job from Tempest fighting back here in the laning phase. Interestingly enough, post 4, Tempest actually finding the kill, whereas somehow pre-4, HeroesHearth found theirs.
And they're diving in. It's actually underkick, sorry, for Side, which is what allowed him to get so close, but McIntyre looking to turn this around. And Sign lacking that Subterranean Shield, which comes in next level. Ooh, Crowan will survive here. McIntyre very nearly also diving too deep.
Look at Sign, he's going to go for an Impale, even forcing Crowan to tap there, even though for a moment he was questioning if he wanted to get the full back, buying some breathing room for Tempest to get a couple of gems turn in. 27 now reside there on the turn in, 26 within their hands. An opportunity to get that first Webweaver phase.
They hover around, waiting for their opportunity. Ishbu marching forward, not able to get into range for the Condemn. And Blaze not in time to interrupt the turn in of Dami. 49 gems out of 50 turned in for Tempest. Only 13 for HeroesHearth.
HeroesHearth does have 33 of those gems in the hands of Ishbu, and that's a pro and a con. It's a good thing in the fact that you only have to keep one person away from the channel. It's a bad thing in the fact that if Tempest ends up getting this Webweaver phase, or just in general, your frontliner maybe second-guessing its opening. I will paint to light that because there's a Blaze and a Kerrigan, Johanna's actually not the main initiator here, so it's not as risky as normal, but it could be a problem. And I know if I'm Tempest, there is a mark there on Ishbu's back. 36
gems, like you say, he will be the target. As Tempest's first Webweaver wave comes in, can they make any kind of aggressive play to follow up on this? We will see. They're putting the majority of their focus onto the mid lane. And we are seeing the adjustment they didn't make last game with Phoenix currently holding that bottom lane, pushing in against Blaze.
Yeah, having that matchup is going to really be able to help kind of prep that bottom lane. And if you have the front mid wall and some pressure over the mid lane, and then you know you've got that bottom front wall on bottom down, it puts you in a position to be able to take that middle four and then make a cheeky rotation through your opponent's night camp, cut him off, and find a couple of kills and even more. So we'll see when Tempest want to make that happen, but for now they get the Impale combo coming in onto BBJ. Lunar Flare does end up coming down. He survives a bit longer than maybe expected, but he's going to be the first to drop here. Sign with the counter response as McIntyre finds himself a kill. Combo going to be coming up in 2 seconds. Will he survive long enough to get it? Dami able to get the jukes out.
Got 21 gems. Dami will be sniped down. A 3-for-1. A massive overextension there from Tempest. Absolutely punished by this Kerrigan and the rest of the members of HeroesHearth. We also have, with that level 7, the Queen of Blades getting that extra cooldown reduction on the Ravage, which is how Kerrigan is keeping up so effectively.
Yeah, just bouncing all over the place, making sure to stay with the rest of HeroesHearth Esports. And after that skirmish, Homicidal able to turn those gems in. Ishbu is going to go ahead and start this up. Night Camp, I believe, was picked up here, or at least attempted to start by Hanzo. Interesting moment there, sitting around for it. I wonder if the team, debated to like, do we want to do this? Do we not? Yep. Oh, it's going to take too much time and back out. But either way, for a moment, it seemed a bit disjointed. HeroesHearth Web Weavers are going to be acquired 10 just around the corner if they are able to pick up one of these front walls. And again, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, middle and bottom are usually the main focuses here on these first couple of Web Weaver phases.
However, a Bruiser Cam being picked up by Tempest, very smart, going to be used for the defense here, will add a spell shield for them, allowing them to move in and potentially avoid getting one-shotted by Kerrigan and Hanzo. But McIntyre, he's still showing on the map, still playing that little bit of aggression, trying to make them fear for their lives.
Wizard down on the defense there. Combo's not going to connect out from McIntyre, still leaping, keeping that shield up as best as he possibly can.
In resets as well, so ravaging all over the place, keeping himself going. As level 10 is hit for Tempest as well, they can now be a lot more confident in their defense. No Twilight Dream Dread. They're sticking with the Tranquility here. I'm
not going to lie, I think that's a big setback for any opportunity to survive through this. I don't think Mouth can heal through this combo, and we see already there's going to be the one-shot as the combo goes through, but the X-Strike on the backline. Hanzo is already down here. McIntyre skirting around. He's going to be looking for a combo available in 2 seconds. Will he hit it? No, good job there coming out from Good to get that warp away. BBJ now eats a root out from Hyde. 3 members of HeroesHearth are down, and Dami shows no mercy here, leaping constantly on HeroesHearth.
Relentless chase coming in. Ishbu completely surrounded, nowhere to go. So many gems dropped there. That is a 0 gem counter for HeroesHearth right now. 42 in Tempest. They defend their lanes, they defend every fort, and they are able to turn that back around.
Really good job there from Tempest, making sure to capitalize on Crowan's mispositioning. Dragon's Arrow was not even used within that last skirmish because of that, and that is a large source of this damage, because we have to keep in mind that right now this composition is based around the Hanzo. Though we're talking about Kerrigan a lot, she's a nice enabler for the Hanzo damage to come in. When we look at the rest of the team, a majority of them, yes, they do have some hybrid damage between Tyrande and between the Blaze, but it is very much Crowan's life. He is the executor of this comp.
And he needs to play safer so we can get that off. For now, though, Tempest making the most of the kills they just got. They pick up enough gems and finally get yet another turn. And this time, with the weakened front walls, they will be looking for at least a fort. They still have all their heroics up. Salvo's already back off cooldown due to the gap between the last fight.
Yeah, man, this is really cool just because of some of the trade-offs that we were talking about with these two compositions. And in the last fight, getting the Tranquility, we saw the initial kind of opener from HeroesHearth, very successful. And as I said, again, Crowan, it does that change differently as we see the Dragon Arrow 2-man combo come through. Hyde trying to survive, but the Jet Propulsion removes 2 of Tempest members quickly. Everybody of HeroesHearth get into the bunker combo available for McIntyre in 2 seconds.
Bring him in. The oil slows, but McIntyre decides for the defense instead of the chase. Wants to protect his structures, shut down the pressure of Tempest, and punish them for trying to play even a little bit aggressively. And they will be able to do so beautifully here. HeroesHearth coming out on top once again.
Yeah, and I think we, again, can see the situation of the thought process behind this comp. That Dragon Arrow was only a 2-man, but quickly those 2 targets were just one shot there. Very well done, and that is through that chain crowd control of this team. But Tempest, though that is a setback, and the fact that they were unable to siege with their Web Weavers, by no means is this an irrecoverable game. Structurally speaking, we are near tied between the two. Gems slightly in favor of HeroesHearth, and experience barely above 13 for both teams.
3 total Web Weavers have been sent out in this game, and we have not a single fort going down as of yet. They're going to try and dive onto Crowan, but he's taking through it as they turn around and just delete side. Kerrigan dives in, Dragon Arrow, and Good is having to teleport away. Darby's just getting bodied and blocked as HeroesHearth take another triple kill.
And they waste no time here to make the rotation up to start this boss. This is not going to be as fast of a boss due to that explosive arrow picked up at 7, but it's still very quick. Tempest, no counterplay available within this downtime. At best, they have the opportunity to focus onto their Knights. And now we got to see what is HeroesHearth going to make happen here. They should be setting Blaze over to make sure that he picks up the gems through mid lane. That's going to be 3 more, keeping them 1 away from a Web Weaver phase. And that is why you see the delay on the boss. It's going to be a double stack here.
That's the attempt. They've tried to take down forts so many times, and this time they are 100% committing. Al will see this is happening. They know they have some freedom on the map to move out. Boss was taken. They decided to not go with the delay, and that will at least guarantee this fort. They finally have enough gems. Turn-in is happening, and they are going to rejoin this boss in the top lane.
I will raise concern, though, over this next Web Weaver phase is that because those Giants were able to be picked up along with the Night Camp, top Web Weaver phase is an all-in. And normally, Tetra, I'd say that's okay. You can make that call at this point in time. If you stack your boss and your Web Weaver phase, HeroesHearth were afraid that maybe somebody would come to contest the boss. They wanted to pick it up early, and look at how much damage it is taking without that Web Weaver casting behind it and helping it with the siege. It is possible, it is likely even, that HeroesHearth gets this 16, but Tempest is not going to be losing on all fronts of the map like they could have been.
Who's creeping forward. Like you said, Tempest, they know they can focus their defense up here with the Web Weaver arriving, though.
When they hit 16, they're going to all in.
They are going
Tempest can't stick around much longer, or this is going to be a Dragon Arrow one-shot.
You can see McIntyre, he's tanking through the harassment of Genji here as they creep forward. He's tanking through thanks to that volatile power, but now he has painful spikes. They're creeping forward. The boss taking out the Web Weaver too low, and Tempest with their passive play, pulling back at that 16. They will prevent what could have been an end game scenario from HeroesHearth.
Yeah, very good job there from Tempest to be able to stop that bleeding. And part of the reason you saw HeroesHearth kind of go past that in second guess is Tempest going to overextend. We might be able to all in, get the opportunity to go for the core, but I think that's even more important because of, again, the Knights and Giants on bottom making these less valuable. They knew they weren't going to get that massive power play where you go, here's the middle fort, here's the middle keep front wall, and maybe we start threatening that keep. So HeroesHearth very self-aware here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And now with the 3-level Dragon Arrow, Blessed Shield.
They're looking for good, but the Nature's Cleanse from Malfurion just potentially saved Tempest the game. Clutch move by Hyde there. And HeroesHearth, they pull back. They're still ahead, but they really wanted that.
Yeah, they're down 3 heroics over that initiation bunker available, though, and that is a big setback for Tempest, because when you see those 3 heroics you could use, even without the 16, you go, hey, they're going to go for this bottom fort. Do we want to maybe poke and prod, start a fight there? But knowing that the bunker is going to be able to stop most of that initiation, it makes it a lot less likely from them. Part of the reason we see this emphasis towards this top lane. In the downtime, I'd like to see Tempest maybe look for some damage up on the top with good on that Phoenix or somewhere of the likes, because they got to make something happen here. Otherwise, I feel like HeroesHearth is, with that top pressure that they have unfolding, it's really their game to lose at this point.
Tempest right now seem to be just wanting to play passive, though. They want that level 16, which is fair. They are not going to try and overextend in the meantime. They head down to this already pushed up lane as HeroesHearth did take down this bottom fort. And they are just waiting this out for the moment. They are not going to take an unnecessarily risky fight. But the fact is, the lanes, HeroesHearth are managing these almost perfectly. Unless they're pushing it, they are not actually clearing the minions super quickly to prevent Tempest getting the easy experience. Top lane especially has been kind of just left to its own devices to accumulate catapults.
Very much has, as Mac looks for another combo. Dami not too threatened there, as that is just Urel. Wow, a lot of damage out from Crowan, though. Maybe a little bit more threatened than even I expected there. But look at this flank coming out from Lockdown on that Genji. Maybe questioning if he's got an opportunity. This is one of the best fights that Tempest is going to have here. See if he finds a dismount.
16 to 18, they're just going to let it go, but he has not shown yet. They still don't have vision of him, but the fact is, this angle is now significantly more difficult than the one they just had. They'd have to be fighting into HeroesHearth as opposed to trying to get the wraparound on them. Instead, they just move up again. They're going to clear catapults, but this is just letting HeroesHearth creep closer to another turn and closer to level 20.
It is creeping closer, but the Web Weaver phase before that point is a realistic option. Tempest, that is their fight win this game. This is going to be either with the Web Weavers, if given over by HeroesHearth Esports, or on the turn-in attempt, which we see here on the top half from them. If they end up getting this Web Weaver and HeroesHearth kind of just disengage, get an easy clear, no major objectives acquired, that's going to be a free 20 talent tier spike into another Web Weaver phase. And honestly, Tetra, likely game.
But this is the difference between Tempest and a potentially lower level team. They could have just tried to force a fight by just trying to turn in over and over and over again. But with that camp being taken in bot lane, this is exactly what HeroesHearth would have wanted. They are more than happy to just sit there and delay with their incredible poke potential that they do have. Instead, Tempest, they react. They grab some pressure for the map. If their next turn in attempt fails, they could, in theory, rotate down and still have time to deal with those Siege Giants.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice, though. Only going with the Knights and not willing to commit to the Giants itself. Dami's going to go ahead and start this channel. That's 16 gems, but Homicidal there. He's got some oil, got some flames. Nice scatter arrow from Crowan. Stops another turn-in attempt as Giants now looking towards the keep front wall. Sign realizes top may not be as optimistic or ideal as they would like. Gonna now question bottom, but HeroesHearth macro pressure, as you pointed out, really paying out.
Yeah, and Tempest, like we said, the interrupts are happening too much. Tempest are going to very quickly run down to bot lane. Looks like by the safe rotation point, they're going to try and clear out those Siege Giants and then likely go for one last fight before level 20. Dragon Arrow, though, comes out, finds good, pulls him in. Quick stun, Nature's Cleanse, not applicable as the heal was not applied.
Yeah, very well done. HeroesHearth taking advantage of that bottom lane clear and that giant camp that they picked up before, using that as an attempt to be able to get that bait. 20 is just around the corner for HeroesHearth, and as we said before, Tempest needed to get that initiation before that threshold. Now it is likely going to be a 20 spike boss, and look for that top siege where there, again, is no keep based on the last boss that HeroesHearth was able to pick up for themselves. It's a dire moment here for Tempest.
4 more gems needed for HeroesHearth as well. They're going to be more than happy to go for another kill and pick them up off the dead corpse of a Nubarak. And they don't even grab the gems, actually, surprisingly. They could have grabbed those and gone for that double play here. But instead, Hanzo's already starting the boss. They're going to be able to grab some minions elsewhere on the map. And Tempest, they know what's up. They're just going to try and turn it and make sure this can't happen. Very smart.
I can tell you a feel-good moment when it comes to comms and playing competitive Heroes of the Storm is when you get an objective like that and you go, no, 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 we're going to do this. We're going to end the game. You're willing to give up objectives like the gems on the battleground because you know this is our game to lose. We are ready to break the base of Tempest. They get the counter turn-in attempt here. So if somehow this siege, this all-in attempt for the core does not work for HeroesHearth, there's a big momentum swing. A lot of structure is going to be going down, and likely Tempest can go for a counter initiation and actually end the game here. So HeroesHearth need to make it work.
This is bad news. Tempest Web Weaver spawned so far forward due to the minion wave not being pushed up all the way to core, so it's already taken out. That extra protection layer is gone as we see McIntyre moving in. We see the quick cocoon as we see the dive onto the back line. The X-Strike is doing some good damage. Crow taking some damage. He gets in the bunker, though, keeping himself alive, but the Iron Defender is causing chaos. Side barely surviving as well. This bunker micro is insane, though.
Yeah, Crowan's bunker micro in and out over and over again, making Tempest impossible to be able to focus him down. Now the core shield has already been taken out. Hyde trying to stop the advance. Dami on the retreat there. Swift Strike goes through, and he doesn't find the reset. McIntyre finds himself a double, 68% on the core, and with that, this is going to be HeroesHearth Esports taking down Tempest 2-0 and finding a way to pick themselves up 3 points here in the group stage.
And that means HeroesHearth will be guaranteed second seed moving out of their group. And look at the celebration. They are happy about this. This means they are going to avoid second seed in the alternate group. This is a huge deal here for HeroesHearth. This is incredibly important. And Tempest, they're going to be feeling a little rough heading into the bracket stage at BlizzCon.
Very much so, going to feel difficult there. And I think one thing that I want to put into perspective quickly here for HeroesHearth Esports is both North American teams had one major roster adjustment at some point over the past 6 months. But HeroesHearth is far more recent than any of the other. And when we look at how long they were together as a roster, the longest standing roster in the entirety of North America until Arthalon stepped down, how fast they've been able to implement Homicidal here into the roster and feel comfortable as a unit, I feel like is something that, at least in North America specifically, has never have we seen the likes of.
We have never seen the likes of it, but it is so cool to see. And to talk to Crowan about that fantastic victory, it is Kevin Michael Johnson on the stage.
That's right, I'm standing here with a very happy Crowan here from HeroesHearth Esports. Congratulations on an amazing set against Tempest, obviously one of the best teams out of Korea. You guys must be feeling really great right now. What are your thoughts?
Definitely, it feels great to be able to take down, a always top contender team such as Tempest, and we're going to be looking to carry this momentum on into BlizzCon stage, so let's get it.
That's right, awesome. Well, I know in September your team took a pretty big hit with the loss of a well-known and talented player in Arthalon. Obviously, the great pickup there with Homicidal. How do you feel like your team is adapting? I mean, given the performance here in group stage, it's looking really great. But what would you say your comfortability is, and how has the team even changed a bit with the new pickup?
Yeah, definitely. Arthalon, obviously a great player and added a lot to our team, but with Hami, we're sort of rediscovering ourselves. We have a new identity. We have things, that Hami can do that we couldn't quite do before. But, we lose some, we gain some. We just have to take what we gain and try to just use everything that we can from it. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job at that. And, we can always improve, can always do better.
Yeah, when we were having the interviews pre the start of group stage, I asked the question, about BlizzCon in general, because I was pretty much under the impression that players, especially players with as much seniority as McIntyre, had been on the BlizzCon stage before, but no, this is the first time for your entire team to be on the BlizzCon stage. I'd just like to hear a little bit of your thoughts. What does that mean for you guys, and what really is the big goal there for you, and what does it mean, really?
You know, I mean, both McIntyre and myself have been so close to the BlizzCon stage. You know, I missed it by one game a couple of years ago, and then, you know, it's just been a wild ride for the, you know, past few years. So it's so meaningful. Like, this is the goal of every Heroes of Storm player, is to be able to come here and compete and, you know, be victorious and get to the BlizzCon stage. And so just thank you for everyone who supported us. It's been a crazy dream, and it's like coming to reality. So it's just, you know, it's great. I'm speechless. Just thank you.
Well, congratulations. I look forward to cheering you on next week. All the best. Have a great week of rest, okay? Guys, back to you. Thanks so much.
HHE gets a 2-0 victory over Tempest. A series that North America can be proud of, J-Hao.
It's a very good thing to be proud of. When you don't just take down one game like they did at Midseason Brawl, but when you take the full series, that's a statement. Remember, Tempo Storm did similar things at Midseason Brawl and then made their run into a top 4 performance. I'm not saying that's prophesized here. The prophet is actually Wolf, but a lot of it is a matter of signs are trending upwards for this team as they've come together. Their synergy has been really good, and I think a lot of that is something they'll be able to play around. Their drafting and the diversity in drafts is a good thing for them.
Yeah, and on the opposite side of the coin, things seem to be trending downward for Tempest. Miscommunication, bad coordination, and team fights. A lot of tough decisions they made in draft that don't really seem to make sense. They don't really work out in practice either. Like the decision to take Tranquility over Twilight Dream ended up hurting them a lot, I think. And in practice, didn't really give them any benefit, right? You can sometimes make an argument with a talent choice like that. What's the benefit? And it just didn't work out in those cases. You've also got role swaps here as well, putting Lockdown back on range DPS, having Dami in the solo lane. It reminds me a lot of Tempest towards the end of the group stage last year, where we saw role swaps with Honkono, Haymaker coming back out, etc. And then, you know, shortly right afterwards, Honkono announces he's leaving the team. You know, it feels like very reminiscent of last year, and I worry for them going forward. You know, they're the 2nd seed, but right now they feel like number 3 from Korea.
Even the in-game shot calling feels a little bit off. That fort dive in the top left corner was hurtful. I mean, J-Hao, do you have a replay to show the comms being a little bit off for them?
There was a couple things. Even HeroesHearth, when they lost all of their gems in that top right, I thought this is a problem. But then all of a sudden, we actually are going to take a look where Tempest, maybe some of that miscommunication starting to come to light, because right now at the bottom left of your screen, you're going to see the pings. I mean, your priority target, if you are Tempest, is going to be Crowan. I mean, that's the main thing, is that you want to get onto this hero in the backside. And the problem with this is, if you actually look at this Tempest, 1, 2, 3 players, Lockdown just got poked. But the other thing, we mentioned this in the draft, Korea loves their Anubarak plus Yrel, and you can't even see Yrel on the screen. She's way down here on the minimap, way in the top lane. When Anub dives in, you need that added support, that added armor, and where's Anubarak, right? Anubarak's actually down here. He's like, hey guys, I'm going in. He gets the target, he gets it, but look at the zoning from Ishbu and team to try and deal with this. So now Crowan is that priority target. You get perfect lockdown, the double stun, but nobody is there. Ishbu does an amazing job making sure to get the blind in, and he's zoning this out the entire time. The other thing I want to point out is Bless Shield is 0.5 seconds away. This is what's really good. There's some overlapping of abilities when you are HeroesHearth, but the discipline to know that, look, he's in trouble. We've got him isolated. I'm going to save this for another kill. This is where now it's HeroesHearth's turn. You see the double stun? Everything comes in. That's going to be McIntyre and team. They get everything on here. McIntyre comes in, gets the drag. Everybody goes in onto this. And then, as I mentioned, Lockdown, Dami, they're trying to come down. No armor for anybody. You actually will see the wings light up. He's like, look, I'm jumping in for the armor. He's like, well, wings are lit up. I can't do anything. And then instantly, now let's go back to that point about Bless Shield being held there. Ishbu, sometimes you want to peel for that back line. But he's going to be like, all right, well, we've got one thing down. Let's go ahead and get another. You'll see it at the tail end of this fight. The minute this goes down, that one kill's there. It's like, all right, let's get another. And this is where HeroesHearth, they start to ramp up. That goes down. McIntyre makes play after play this game. They get the kill, the Dragon Arrow to follow up. It's just ultimate synergy from this team. Outside of a few overlapped abilities, once they start to get their cohesion going like they always have combos off basic abilities. They always have short cooldown heroics they play off of. Just the ultimate synergy of HeroesHearth is one of the things that has to be feared by a lot of teams here going into BlizzCon.
Yeah, and it's funny to think about the the big reversal here. I mean, this is a huge reversal. Tempest is the team that's known for perfect coordination, great team fighting, but that's not true today. Today, it's actually HeroesHearth who has the better coordination, who's actually making those good responses. And I think it's just a lack of comfort for Tempest, excuse me, for these types of styles that they dealt with today in both North America today and then Dignitas yesterday from EU, the solo support Abathur. They're just a little bit out of their element, and perhaps that becomes a mental issue for them. But there's clearly a block right now for them. They're not able to play at their full potential.
Well, Tempest will have a few days to get in their element and prepare for it next week. But right now, HHE is firing on all cylinders, and they have earned the #2 spot in their seed. So let's go ahead and focus on our next matchup. It's BTG and Luna Meow. We're going to face off.
Right onto the back. Hunt is immediately Celestial Attunement is away, so Good is going to try and dive in and get that. Nothing. He just gets completely wiped with the VP on the isolation onto the background, preventing the healing from Hyde.
And now Lockdown's going to be the focus, unable to make it out. Lunar Flare did not land, but Hyde ends up dropping 2 here. Isolation does connect there. The damage coming through. Crow able to teleport away there. No vision and no problem. Ends up surviving. Dami trying to walk away here from HeroesHearth Esports, but they will not for any opportunity to survive through this. I don't think Mouth can heal through this combo, and we see already there's going to be the one-shot as the combo goes through, but the X-Strike on the backline. Hanzo is already down here. McIntyre skirting around. He's going to be looking for a combo available in 2 seconds. Will he hit it? No. Good job there coming out from Good to get that warp away. BBJ now eats a root out from Hyde. 3 members of HeroesHearth are down, and Dami shows no mercy here, leaping constantly on HeroesHearth.
Relentless chase coming in. Ishbu completely surrounded. Nowhere to go. So many in this game, and we have not a single fort going down as of yet. They're going to try and dive onto Crowan, but he's tanking through it as they turn around and just because delete side. Kerrigan dives in. Dragon Arrow, and Good is having to teleport away. Dami's just getting bodied and blocked as HeroesHearth take another triple kill. Chaos side barely surviving as well. This bunker micro is insane though.
Yeah, Crowan's bunker micro in and out over and over again, making Tempest impossible to be able to focus him down. Now the core shield has already been taken out. Hyde trying to stop the advance. Dami on the retreat there. Swift Strike goes through. He doesn't find the reset. McIntyre finds himself a double, 68% on the core. And with that, this is going to be HeroesHearth Esports taking down